Namaskaram. Welcome to day 69 of the Safe Soil Journey. So, the good news is that I think you may all have heard on social media that Sadhguru is arriving in India tomorrow. So, looking forward to have Sadhguru back with us after an arduous journey of almost 69 days and traversing so many places. So I think most of us may have been following his journey, his updates, and now starts the last leg of the journey, the last one third of the journey, where he'll be traveling across different parts of India. And I hope you have checked out his schedule. It is on safesoil.org/events. So if you have not checked it out, please see if he's visiting a place nearby to you and see if you can attend the event in person. I'm looking forward to seeing him in Bangalore on uh, June 19th. So he'll be here, towards the last leg of the journey, last few days. So looking forward to see how we can make this a big event here. And it just feels like the days have just gone by so quickly, and we are just almost now towards the last leg of the journey. And this is the time when we can step in and see what we can do to amplify whatever has happened. A lot of progress has happened over the last 69 days, and Sadhguru has been updating us about how so many nations have come forward and signed MOUs, and some are discussing internally and seeing how they can pitch in. And it looks like the outcomes are going to be very positive. And at least it's hard to come across someone who has not heard about safe soil because of all the drumming up which we have been doing since last 69-70 days. At least people around, they know about this movement. And I think if we amplify this in the last leg, this can definitely achieve what it was set forth for. So let's see how we can do our best. So last few days I was in silence, and I think I've shared about this in my previous videos about how this is an opportunity which is available to many people to just come here and be in the Isha Yoga Center and take up silence for a certain period of time. And this is an opportunity for us to break free from all communication and just see. It's not that if you just stop speech, you will become silent, but this is a beginning step. At least if you can cut out the speech and communication, slowly we can see how we can work towards deeper states of silence, where not just your speech but your thoughts, emotions, all these things can be seen, how you can bring them to a certain state of silence. So but this is the beginning step, and this has been something which is tremendously rejuvenating for me. And I just cannot think of how I could survive without this period of silence, because the kind of activity which I get involved in, if I don't take a break every few months and just spend some time in silence, it is something which can be quite unnerving, because of so much exposure to communication devices and non-stop on devices most of the time. So it's very important, at least for me, I feel, to take some time out where I'm not in communication with anything outside, and where I can just focus on my sadhana and my interiority. And this helps me establish my practices and my way of being, brings me back, sets the strong foundation, and makes me remember why I first started this, why I just got into all this in the first place, and why that basic seeking is something which is still paramount for this to go on. So this is something which is like a foundation, and I hope many of you can also make use of this. So if you reach out to the Isha Yoga Center and find out if you are eligible to take up a few days here in silence, it will be a great opportunity to come. They'll give you a schedule where you can right from morning from the time you wake up till the time you sleep. They have everything charted out. All you have to do is just implement. So it's a time when you can just rest your mind and just try to see how you can implement and focus on the how you're doing the activity rather than what activity you're doing. So this is tremendously uplifting, and I'm just looking forward to get back into activity. So last few days I had recorded some videos beforehand, so that at least the series keeps going on. I didn't want to miss out because of that. And next few days also I have some travel. Actually, this whole month of June I have quite some travel planned. Day after tomorrow I actually have a class. It's a class for the army, and I think this is going to be my first program in Hindi in a public atmosphere, at least outside, for a large group of people. I've done some online programs, but never an offline program. So looking forward to that program. And after that I have some travel as well. In most of June I'll be outside traveling, and then most probably beginning with programs in July. So those are a few updates from my end, and I'm still continuing to see what I can do to keep the sadhana alive, which I have taken up, which is to at least share and see if I can, on a daily basis, this is just a sadhana or a medium for me to kind of bring soil into my conscience and see on a daily basis, not conscience, consciousness, and see if I can, on a daily basis, try to see how I can contribute in whatever little ways I can to support this movement and to do my part. So I hope these videos in the last few weeks have been useful in some way, and this was also an opportunity for me to try and record many of these aspects which I had not got a chance before, or I was going on postponing, and so this gave me an opportunity to kind of bring those aspects. Still we have about 1/3 of the journey left, and I'll try to see what more can be shared. So today I thought, in continuation with the practices which we were looking at in the last few days, I can share about the eye care program, or commonly as it's called as Sunayana. So this is a program which is especially beneficial to bring relief to the eyes. And in this program, a series of practices are taught which are very beneficial for people having eyesight disorders like myopia or hypermetropia, or short-sightedness or long-sightedness. So if you have, basically, which is like a autofocus issue, where it's just the mechanism of the eye where you can see, but it's just that you can either see over a short distance or over a long distance. So the eyesight is fine, but it's just the distance, the focus part, which is the trouble. Then if this kind of disorder is something which has been progressing for you, then this is very easy to reverse it. Sadhguru was mentioning that at a certain point of time he was doing so many eye care programs, and thousands of people walked out of their spectacles. They just came out of their eye issues effortlessly just by doing the practices for over 45 days, and they didn't have to go back to their spectacles ever again, just by practicing these simple practices which Sadhguru says that he taught them, and so many people benefited. So these eye care practices are very simple, and it's especially beneficial for people having these issues. If you have other kind of eye disorders where the whole eye apparatus itself is damaged, then maybe this will not help. This can only help if especially if you have this myopia or hypermetropia, and also if you're looking at it like a preventive, because nowadays we're spending so much time in front of the systems, and especially where we're just focused in one direction. We're not actually using the eyes to a full capacity. We do not look in different directions. We're just looking in front of the screen and all the time, and because of this the eye muscles are not sufficiently used, due to which problems can develop over a long period of time. So it's important that we use our eye muscles fully, see if we can make full use of that. And if we have not been doing this, then you'll see slowly over a period of time, because of lack of use, it can develop issues like hypermetropia or myopia. So if you are facing any of these issues, then this can definitely help. But if you have any severe eye disorders like glaucoma or other things, then this may not be of that much help. Depends on your condition, but definitely it can help if you have myopia or hypermetropia, and especially if it is progressing for you. If it is not stagnant from many years, and if the eyesight is rapidly decreasing, then this can be very easily reversed, as Sadhguru was mentioning. And he was mentioning that if these eye care practices are done along with the Hatha Yoga practice, especially Surya Kriya is very beneficial. If you can practice Surya Kriya along with these eye care practices, or if you're not practicing Surya Kriya, then either Yogasanas or Angamardana or the full set of Upa Yoga. So one of the Hatha Yoga practices or Surya Shakti, if you're practicing one of the Hatha Yoga practices and then adding this along with it, then this can be very effective. And these eye care practices, if you can dedicate at least 40 to 45 days completely for your eyes, if this is something you want to reverse naturally. So he was mentioning that if people have more ailments, like if the case is very complicated, like for example if they have diabetes or something else along with eye disorders, then it can be more difficult to reverse. But if they're not having any other significant ailments and it's just the eye disorder, then it's very much possible to reverse this quickly with the help of these practices. If you can do these practices for at least one mandala and just focus on them. So initially these practices, it may take for about 20 to 25 minutes to do the full set of practices, but these eye care practices, they need to be increased in terms of number of cycles or frequency. It needs to be done at least twice, minimum twice or thrice a day. So you may need to spend a few hours every day if you scale up the practices and do it for at least 2 to 3 times a day. It may take, let's say, about 1.5 to 2 hours on a daily basis to spend time. But if you can just do that for a focused period of time for about 40 to 45 days, just focusing on the eyes, right care of food, right care of practice, right type of practices, and seeing if you can maintain a healthy lifestyle, then it can definitely make a big change. And it's not just about it's eyesight is not just dependent on one factor. There are so many factors which are involved in eyesight. It's about lifestyle, it's about food, it's about what you're going through. If you're going through a lot of stress, then you'll see that builds up acidic content in the cells, and that again will lead to lack of flexibility or rigidity in the muscles, which can impact eyesight over a period of time. So many different things. And also lack of use, because if you're just focusing and looking in front of a screen all the time and not using your eyes to its full capacity, so many things need to be taken care of for you to have a healthy eyesight. And eye is as much an integral part of the body like anything else, and it's important to use it. And to me, it's if a healthy body cultivates a healthy set of eyes, and one cannot compromise on the fundamentals in terms of lifestyle, food, and leading a joyful life. All these things will make a big difference in terms of how good your eyes are. So all those things, it's very important to take care of as well, apart from the practices. So if you are over 8 years of age, then you can learn these eye care practices from a trained Isha Hatha Yoga teacher nearest to you. We also do eye care programs in Bangalore. If we happen to schedule them in the next few months, you can make use of them. Or otherwise, if you're based outside Bangalore and wish to learn from a teacher nearest to you, you can find one nearest to you and learn these eye care programs. It's very much possible, especially if you have children, because nowadays we see a lot of children coming to us for eye disorders, especially they're having specs, etc. So if you have children, it's good that if you can get them started early on this, because they can very easily reverse this before the spectacles become a permanent part of their life. If you can bring about these eye care practices in their life and the right kind of diet, yoga, etc., it can make a difference. So we have had a lot of children who have come to us who wanted to learn these eye care programs. So anyone above 8 years can learn, and just they need to learn Hatha Yoga practice along with this and spend at least 45 days dedicatedly for doing these eye care practices, giving it enough time. So please see how you can make use of the same. And those of you who have learned the eye care programs earlier and benefited from it, how has your been experience? What changes did you see? Did you notice a substantial difference after doing the eye care practices? If you can share with us, or if you have any other questions related to that, you can please share with us. Would be happy to hear from all of you. So till the next video, namaskaram.